Hi, my name is Teri Lee from Sweet Pea Papers. This is video 3 in a series called A Vintage Christmas Day in July 2021. It's a collaboration between Kyung Shotwell, Lisa Fisher, and myself. Kyung designed all these wonderful papers. If you signed up to participate in the collaboration before July 15th, you got these papers for free. If not, you can get them at a discount at her Etsy store, and the link will be below. Also a link to her YouTube channel. Lisa Fisher, her link to her Etsy store and her YouTube channel will be below. And she sent me a whole box full of stuff. There's lace and buttons and flowers and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. No, I'm kidding. And she also has a coupon for us. If you use the coupon 15TERI, and it's TERI, then you get 15% off $15 or more. So that's that. I may have mentioned that before, but I may not. So I just thought I would throw it in there. So for today's page, we're going to need a piece of the craft cardstock, 2 pieces from the kit, 2 pieces of paper, your choice, obviously. You're going to need some lace, the lace that we tea-dyed that matches the rest of the lace in the book, obviously. We're going to use that until we run out. And then I'm going to also add this little foam piece because it matches in the color and I need it for closure, which you'll see in just a moment. And so I'm going to set that to the side. Actually, I'm going to set it up there. And then you're also going to need your ink. I'm going to be using the Fired Brick out of the 3 colors that I'm using, which is Bundled Sage and Vintage Photo and Fired Brick. Okay, and then you're going to need some Velcro dots. I was going to use a magnet, but I didn't really figure out how to hide the magnet, so we're going to use a clear Velcro dot instead. I know you see black ones on here too, but we're going to use the clear ones. Okay, so we'll set these to the side as well. Oh, and the little closure came to me from Kyung. She sent me a whole bunch of little snowflakes and some little mittens, which we call itty bitty mitties. And here's the other piece that I was looking at. There it is. Right there. I'm going to grab it before it moves in the stack. There it is. I'm not sure. This one is like a puzzle piece. That's the texture. So I'm not really sure if I want to use that or if I want to use the little foam colored, the foam one. So we'll see in just a minute when we get that far. Now, I want to show you something real quick that I added on to page 1 and page 2, and I had kind of talked about it anyway. And that is the glossy accents. And what I did was I added it to all of the berries. Let's see if we can see how they're shiny, and it makes them look 3D. There you go. Now you can see it. All right, and I may end up adding a little bit to the bottom of the ice skate to make it look like it has ice on it. All right, and now on a side note, I had to completely redo this page after our video was over. I tried to put some glossy accents on the blade, and I totally messed it up, and it messed up the whole page. So I had to tear it off and do it all over again. Fortunately, none of the paper from underneath you know, stuck out or showed or anything. And so I just want to, the reason I pointed that out is to let you know that everybody makes mistakes, and in most cases you can fix them. I was prepared to start over if I had to, but see, I have a whoops, where'd it go? I have a page all ready to go. So but I was able to save it. Then on this side we had the berries here, and there's berries behind our card. So you can see I've decided to do all of the berries in the whole kit, and possibly some other things too on pages that don't have berries. All right, so that's it for that page. Put that over there. Now, today we're going to make a sort of a double belly band page. Since this is a ring-bound journal, it's kind of hard to make things, we don't want them to fall out. So what we're going to do is, this is our base page. I already cut this out. I used the paper size for this as a guide. When you cut your paper, you use 8.5, so 8.5 high, so you don't have to cut it this way at all. And then it's 7.5 inches long. So we're going to do that and make a page and put the holes in it. And that way you've got a second video that shows you how to do that. And I've cut the paper for the background already. And then this is going to be our writing card. And I've printed it on both sides. And if I seem like I'm going quick, it's because I am. Because this, believe it or not, is the 4th try at recording this video. So that's why a few of the pieces are already cut out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a page. Let me set this to the side. So like I said, we're going to leave it at 8.5. Let me move some of this out of the way. And then we're going to cut it 7.5 inches long. And if you remember from the first video, I made it 7.5 instead of 7.25 because I didn't want to have to mess with the lovely Fisker's spot. So we want it 7.5 inches long and 8.5 inches high. Oops. And you can do it with either way, but it's just easier to only have to cut the one side. Okay. And then you're going to score this. Oh, and by the way, I already have this many scraps left over, so we're going to have plenty of stuff to make writing cards with and backgrounds. And like I said, I have this extra page. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to score it at 1 1/4 on the 7.5 inch long side. It's 8.5, so that means we want to score it. I'm going to score it on there. And 8.5, so we're going to score it on this side. Because that's how... Now, Teri, just don't lose your mind. We're going to score it on this side. Good grief. We're going to score it in 1 inch. A quarter. I was thinking 1.5 inches for some crazy reason. 1 1/4 inches. I had to cheat. I had to cheat and look at my notes for a minute there. Okay. Keep your scoreboard close. We're going to have to do one more quick score. I'm going to fold it. And fold it a little bit at a time. This is kind of, you don't want to crack the paper. So we're going to get out our bone folder. Now that we've got it started. And then we're going to crease it. And then we're going to glue this down to here. Only if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it's going to be really hard to make the page if you don't. Just a side note. And since I'm poking holes in the middle, I'm not really going to glue in the center where I'm going to be poking the holes through to put our rings through. Okay. So we're going to fold that down, and then we're going to crease it with our bone folder. Make sure everything grabs. Now we have a page. Going to mark this number 3 with our chalk pencil. And we're going to mark this the top. Then we're going to flip it over like you're turning the page. And we're going to mark this number 4. And then we're going to mark this the top. Okay, because there's nothing more embarrassing than turning the page and having it upside down. Hey, I've done it. And at some point in time, you probably will too. And we're not going to ink this. Remember, we don't ink the craft paper. We do ink the background paper. But since this is the 4th time that I've done this, it's already been done. Ta-da! You don't have to watch me do ink. We are going to, and I almost forgot, so that we know where the edge of our paper needs to be lined up, we're going to measure in 3/4 of an inch. Oh, I also want to mention that everybody else that's participating in the collaboration, all their YouTube links are below the video as well. So you should go visit all those great people and like and subscribe and share all of their content. I think it was really great that everybody joined in. Not everybody does videos. Some people do photos of their cards or their tags or their journals or whatever it is they do. It's all beautiful with Christmas theme. And they post them in the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. And the link to that will be below the video as well. And then all you have to do is search for the hashtag Vintage Christmas Day in July 2021. That hashtag's all one word. And then you'll get to see everybody's project. Okay. So that's why they're not listed below, is the point that I was making, because they don't have YouTube channels for you to click on to go visit. All right, so we've made our mark 3/4 of an inch in. And so that's where our paper will go, right here, 3/4 of an inch in. We're going to have a little gap at the top and the bottom. Now, when I was inking this, I made a mistake and kind of inked over onto the paper. Got a little carried away. So since I'm doing this double belly band that you'll see in just a minute, I'm going to place the paper so that it has the ink at the bottom, because I'm going to be able to cover it with one of the belly bands. So if you ever do that, you know, you kind of extra go at it, then you can fix that by covering it with something else, some other feature, some ephemera or something else. All right, so we're going to set this part of the page aside. I've taken 2 scraps of the card stock, and then remember, it has a good side and a crafty side. So I marked mine for the front. Can't really see that F very well. For the front, so that I don't accidentally put it on here so with the wrong side forward. And this is a chalk pencil, so this can be just rubbed right off. Apparently so, because it rubbed right off. Okay, is that my bad joke number 1 for this video? So this measures the width of the page. So that is going to be 5 3/8, because we're going to make a regular normal old belly band right across the middle. Okay. And then we're going to glue that on either side. We're not going to glue it to the cardstock or the craft cardstock. We're going to glue it to our paper for our page. Okay. Now I'm going to use one of the lines to go by, hopefully. To make sure that it goes straight across the page, which it's not. Okay. There we go. straight across the page. Okay, and now this one is a scrap, and I cut it. Oh, this one is 1 inch wide. This one is 1 inch wide, and I wanted to make it look like a strap, so I rounded the corners with my corner rounder, and then I inked both of these as well. Okay. So we are going to score this by figuring out where we want this to be, and then cutting our scrap about a 1/2 inch longer. About a 1/2 inch. And the reason we're working on the paper is we don't want to have to glue this to the craft paper. We want to glue it underneath this paper like this. So now what's going to happen is we're going to make a writing card that fits in here, but we don't want it to slide out. So we're going to attach this to the bottom, and then we're going to use a Velcro dot to connect it to this. So then when you pull it off, in fact, I think we might put the Velcro dot at the top. And then we'll make our writing card shorter. And then that's what this little piece is for. We're going to put it at the top. And I'm thinking I like this one better. Yes, I do. I definitely do. And that way people will know, to pull it. Okay, so the reason I've decided where to put mine is to cover up my mistake. Okay, so we're going to glue this on and then wrap it around the page. You don't want to do it too tight because you don't want to curl the page. And I scored this at that 1/2 inch to make it a cleaner fold. So that was why we're going to have to use the scoreboard again. Line that up so that it's straight. Oh, look at that. That worked out well. See? Need to move this back a little bit so that the fold does not, well, it looks like it's going to anyway until we glue the paper down to the page. And then that will fix it. Now I'm crooked. There we go. So I'm going to hold that just for a second until the glue dries. So I hope you guys are having fun with your Christmas in July. I'm having fun. I've never done Christmas in July before. And I kind of thought Christmas in June would be the way to go because it's 6 months. But apparently it's Christmas in July every year. A lot of people do it. So, sure, have some fun with it. And Merry Christmas. Okay, that's probably dry by now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a Velcro dot on the back side of this. And these are called clear, but one side is clear and one side is white. We're going to put the white side on the underside. So what we do is we stick them together so that the sticky side is out on both sides. Oops. Guess I got a few extra there. Okay. So you want to put them together. And then you stick it down where you want it, making sure the white side is on the underside. That looks good. And then you're going to flip it over and then secure it. Oops. Looks like I got a little... Uh-oh. Let me take my scissors and round that. And then it makes the clear one stick and then the white one stick. I can't believe I pulled on that and did that. All right, now it looks different. I'm just having a time today. You guys just don't know. Okay. Still trying to fix my mistake. There we go. All right, let's ink it. The paper trimmer had caught on there and made a snag. So I guess that's a good thing I caught it now anyway. Okay. So now we need to decide what size we need to make the card. So we need it to be able to slide down in between. Velcro's giving me a time, isn't it? Okay. All right. I'm sorry, I'm just having a time. I really am. So, our writing card. Let's open this up. And then we're going to need to take our writing card paper. Now, it is directional. So what we want to do is, this is going to be glued into about here. So let's say this line. And we want to make sure it's below our Velcro dot. So let's say this line is going to be here. And then, let me see with my bone folder. Okay. Then let's say let's say from this white line to this white line. So we'll cut it off here. I'm going to go ahead and do that part. And don't worry, we're not just going to leave that craft paper. I mean, we could, because it would match the craft paper, but we have Christmas to do. Okay, so we're going to cut this off, and then we're going to check the width. Make sure that it fits through there. Oh, that's pretty. Now remember, this is going to be the height of the paper, but we can't do that. We can't do that because of the Velcro dot. So that would have been the advantage to hooking it here. We could cut this off, actually, and do the Velcro dot right there. What do you guys think? Just wondering, because the writing card could be bigger that way. That's all right. Let's leave it the way it is. Let's not take a chance on tearing anything. Okay, so this card's definitely going to fit in here. If we put it down to here, how much do we need to trim off to get it below the Velcro dot? Okay, the Velcro dot, let's say this dark blue line. So we're going to cut it off right there. And I printed this on the back so I didn't have to line it, you know, with coffee dyed paper or something. Now, there are kits out there that the paper, when you print it out, looks like it's coffee dyed. I will look up that kit, one of them, and I will put the link below if you think that will help you out. So let me write that on my notes. Coffee dried coffee dyed paper kit. There's several, but if I can find the one that I use, then I will put a link to it. If you don't see a link, that means I couldn't figure out which one it was that I use the most. All right, so now we've got our card. Let's double check the height. We'll put it down here. Yep, the Velcro dot is up there. So that's going to cover that there. So then let's round the corners of our writing card and try not to make big mistakes. I like my bigger one for bigger things. And it works better too. Don't ask me why, but it does. And I'm going to have to put you on pause for just 1 second. Cut these corners. Makes it look a little neater and cleaner. There we go. And then we'll have to ink that. Okay, so I'm going to ink that. And then we'll get some kind of decoration for behind. And I've already got a decoration from here. Okay, so we'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So what we're going to do now is we're going to decorate the writing card and decorate the page, and then we're going to glue the page onto here, onto the paper onto the page. So these are the things that I've picked out. This is the lace that's being carried throughout. Actually, this is a different tea-dyed lace. I'm sorry. I'm going to put it not quite to the end on this one. And the reason being is that we're going to put this snowflake here. And I know the snowflake looks crazy, but when you turn it over, it's wooden. So that will go there. And I still haven't decided. I think we'll put maybe a strip of this to tie it in with the pocket from the page before. A strip of this across the center. I'm not sure if I'm either that or we'll put lace across it. I'm not sure if I want the lace and the lace. So we'll figure that out as we go along. And then, so let me cut that now that I've got it where I want it. Cut it with a little bit of trimming room. Okay. I'm all stuffed up this morning, so I apologize. This has been a long break. I recorded the first half of this yesterday, and then a bunch of stuff went crazy, and so now here I am today. I've decided to put this on the card. I think it looks pretty. We have to be careful about putting stuff on the card because it has to slide behind the belly band. And so we don't want to make it too tight, right? And so I had my brother scan and cut this out, and I had it leave a little 4/10 of an inch border around so that I could ink around it. There we go. Ink around the little baby's head. And then that will make it stand out a little bit more. And this was a real stinker to ink. As let's just call it that, okay? So we're going to put this in the middle of the page. We're going to put this on the strap, and then we're going to put these two sentiments here. You would think we would want to put more, but once again, with the sliding in and out of the card, then I don't want to put too much on here that isn't flat, so that we can get the card in and out. I could have made a little bit of a gusset on this. It might have made it a little bit better, but then again, we don't want it falling out. All right, so let's set this part to the side. We can test the card and see if the sentiments will work on there, or if that makes it too thick. So let's glue this on. And remember, all the little red ornaments on here are going to get glossy accents. I know. And then I'll have to set that aside to dry. You want to make sure to get the bottom of it the best, because that's the part that might catch sliding it in and out. Sorry about that. You're going to hear sniffling throughout. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just concentrating. Okay. So now, I guess I could have drawn a little cross, but to mark the center, but I think there's enough glue on here that I can move it over just a little bit. I really like the way this looks. Just make sure to glue down all their little feet in the tree. And if there's a little bit of glue sticking out, squishing out, just take your dry wet wipe, your dry clean wet wipe. Now I can already see a problem with this. You know, it really almost looks like a foot, but there's nobody to go with it. Unless there is, and you just can't see them because they are doing sort of a ring around the tree. So let's make sure all these little feet and everything are stuck down. Merry Christmas dancing around the tree. Okay, now let's check it. Yep, that should be fine. And then we'll close this like that. And then we'll have the lace up here. We'll have the ornament there. And then when you take the card out, we'll have the sentiments. I think that's what we'll do. And then we'll do the red piece across here. I realize it cuts the picture in half, but with this type of a thing, the only other option was to put it in a pocket, and we've already had a pocket. Not that we won't have another pocket, but I don't want them to be right next to each other. So we're done with the writing card. Let's close this up. Let's put these two sentiments on while we're in a gluing mood. Okay, now I made a little mark. I wanted to line it up with this white, and then I wanted to line it up with this white stripe here. So let's put some glue on it. Maybe not over the page. Okay. So you can always erase any little bit of the mark you made that shows. Okay. And then, oh, be careful when you wipe it so that you don't move it. This way they'll be in line, top and bottom. This one says, ho, ho, hope your holidays are filled with fun. And I think the people dancing around the tree kind of tie in with that. And may the light of the holiday season fill your heart, and may the music fill your soul. Happy holidays. So I thought music. I thought that went well. Of course, we can always print out more of the sentiments if we feel like we need the, same sentiment throughout. Okay, here we go. Sorry I'm seeming a little brisk in this one. Like I said, I've taken several tries to get this one done. And it's not your fault. Or maybe it is. Is it? Or is it not? And it's also 4:30 in the morning. So I tend to record those a little bit quieter. Unless the dogs upstairs have been barking all day the day before. And then I'm a little less, I know I shouldn't be, but I'm a little less sympathetic. I don't talk loud enough to wake them up anyway. I know I have a loud voice. You don't have to tell me that in the comments. Like, Teri, we would never have any trouble hearing you. Ha ha ha. Because I definitely would know. I already know. Okay, so let's put our bead of glue up the center. Let's carefully lay our lace down. I should have glued it down the sides. Probably. But it will hold it. Let's make sure it's centered and not hanging over on one side or the other any more than. Make sure it hangs out evenly. Those little loops. These little loops on either side. We need them to be fairly even. If I would quit messing around with it, it probably would be. I left a little bit of space down here to trim it off flat. So I'm going to let that dry for just a second. And we've got our writing card like this. And then on here, on the little red Christmas ornaments, I'm going to put the glossy accents. And then we'll leave that to dry. In fact, we could do that now. And then set it aside to dry. Now, this, I don't know if you remember before, but it tended to dry in this tip. So even though it's it screws on, I was able to get a pin to fit in there, and then it still caught just enough of the thread that it would close it. And I probably could leave it like this because it is sealed, but I'm not sure I want to do that. I'm not sure this is going to work either. I may just have to clean it out every time because then the stuff seems to be drying around the pin. I don't want to stick the pin in there and then have it get stuck. This is a pretty good sized bottle. They should have had a better plan. So you just put a drop, here a drop, there a drop, everywhere a drop, drop. Old MacDonald had a Christmas tree. You'll notice I didn't sing that, and I think you would be grateful. So, in the comments below, put how gratified you are, or how grateful you are. Gratified. How grateful you are that I did not, emphasize the not, did not sing that. Please don't do that. Just make me feel worse than I already do about my singing voice. Plus, being hoarse is not going to help today. Okay, now we're going to glue our... Now, this on this side, remember, is floured. So we're going to glue it down this way. Now, I want to glue it to where this part is straight, up and down. I don't really want to glue it like that because I'm me. The other good thing is that even though with the little buttonholes, they kind of blend in with the holes around, so I don't really feel the need to sew it with thread to make it look like it's sewn on. I'm just going to glue it on. Let's make sure this is dry. I'm going to turn it around this way so I can work with it better. And I'm going to put the glue on here because that way I can, you know what? I'll take that back. I'm going to put the glue on the flower because, or the snowflake, so that I can make sure and get all these little points so nothing falls off. Main part would be to get the center. So we're going to turn this over. We're going to glue it on. With the, you can line it up with the lace, and that will tell you if it's straight or not. Might should have done that last to let it dry. Let's let it sit for a second. And the other thing is that this is a flat button. It doesn't have a, because there were some buttons in here in the button jar that I could have used. But, now this one is too big, but I'm just using it as an example. Okay, this could have been used, but it's got this on the back, so it won't lay straight. It has to be sewn onto something, or you have to have, I don't know, maybe you could Dremel it off. Not sure you would ever get it completely flat. You could probably sand it off. But anyway, this is my jar of buttons. I'm getting quite a few, and I'd like to thank everyone who has sent me buttons in swaps and trades and racks. Is that another swaps and trades and racks? Oh my, is that another thing here? Oh, we can cut our piece to go across here, and that will carry it through the red stripe through the middle from the page before. I think this edge looks better. So let's do it from there to this yellow line, or lighter red line. And we'll do the length. We're going to ink it with the brown as well, so we don't want to forget that. And there really wasn't a way to ink that. I could go back and kind of put a little bit of ink on it to tone it down a little bit if I wanted to, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. So let's measure how wide we want it. I believe it's that 5 and a smidge. But let's move that in just a little bit. We'll move this in just a little bit. Let's mark it at this black line. This one really is a black line. We are going to see that. Because it's going to be shiny. So I'm not sure what to do with that. Maybe a thin strip of this up the center, like 1 line wide. I don't know. If I had a red ribbon and hadn't already put this on there, then I might would have put a red ribbon, you know, woven in and out before I put this on. But it is what it is at this point. I don't have enough of those little, oh, you know, I could put some flat back pearls up there, and that would cover it, and just not do it on any other page. You know, that brown doesn't really stand out very well. Let's see if this red, or maybe the combination of both will. I know this is red, but it's up against brown. So let's see. It's a little bit, believe it or not, of a stronger color than the brown. Okay. We're almost done. You know, I better trim this while I'm thinking about it. Okay. Yeah, now that I think about it, I wish I had run a little thin red ribbon, but I don't have one anyway through there. Okay, we'll glue this. It would be kind of cool to glue this as another belly band and put something really small in there. No, because we already have them dancing around the tree. I don't think we want to give them any more stuff to do. Okay, and we'll put this here. I like that. And this will go here. Can't put the card in because it's still wet. And then that will go there. And let's go ahead and glue this on here, and then we'll be done. Other than coming back and putting the card in. Okay. I'm trying to make these pages, you know, a little bit different. We're going to have some pages, you know, that are going to be standard pages. Plus, we only have so much time because of the Christmas in July restriction. Well, it's not a restriction, but I mean, you know, the amount of time to get it done. I'd like to try to get as many pages in as I can. I'd like to try to get 10. I've got 8 spots for videos set up. Now remember, we don't want to glue this upside down. Okay, this is the top. This is the top. I'll glue it over just a little bit. Remember, on the other ones it was closer to the edge, so we want it to be the same. I thought gluing the page down would make this a little less poofy. Let's make sure we hold it down really well right here. So we want the page to be glued down right around that really well. All right, so that's it. Once we put the card in, then we'll have our Christmas people going on, and then you won't really see these. You might see the edge of them until we take the card out, and then that way the page isn't empty. Okay, so that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Bye-bye.